Here we're working on an orthokeratology case. This is a monovision fit, and the right eye is dominant, so we're aiming for full distance correction in this eye. But over-refraction reveals about a diopter and a quarter remaining minus, and the patient is complaining of distance blur, which kind of makes sense. Before getting over to the lenses, a couple observations I made are with the initial topographies. You can see the raw picture here. It's a little bit jittery. I usually like to see cleaner Myers in my topographies whenever I'm designing lenses off of them. I looked at a few of the other ones, and this was the best one. Some of them were a little bit more jagged than this, and some I think Wave was not able to process because it had a hard time recognizing which Myers really corresponded with the same ring going all the way around. And anytime I see this, I'm a little bit concerned because I'm not sure if a poor result is due to a poor lens design, or is it due to artificial data that Wave is incorporating into the lenses. So I'm not sure if this was a squirmy patient or maybe there's some dry eye going on, but especially for ortho K cases, if there is any kind of dry eye, any kind of ocular surface disease, I do try to manage that really aggressively, even in kids. And a couple of reasons are, first, I think it's good for just overall general ocular health, which I don't think is ever a bad thing. Second, it gives me more confidence in my lens designs when I have sharp Myers and repeatable topographies. And then third, we want the patient to have really good post-wear vision, and a poor tear film is going to contribute to less than desirable results, and that's sometimes difficult to manage after the fact. But if we can get that taken care of on the front end, it often does help a little bit with our ability to achieve good results. So looking at the post-wear topographies down here, you're getting pretty good peripheral alignment. There's a fair amount of bearing all the way around the periphery, and it looks fairly even. You can see the treatment zone is fairly centered. I think that this lens is positioning itself quite nicely. We just need a little bit more treatment, and so I'm going to bring up the lenses here. This is the most recent design for the right eye, and the two things I'd recommend to modify this lens is to decrease the OZ a little bit, and we'll decrease the IC control point at the same time, and then just increase the power in the lens, or how much topo demand we're putting in the lens. So if we look at the topography here, you can see that there's this central area of corneal steepening, this yellow oval where the cornea is a little bit steeper, and whenever possible, I like to use that to set the size of my OZ. So if we go down to that graph, we can measure out this way. At about the widest point, it's maybe 4 millimeters that way, and then at the widest point, it's about maybe 3.5 millimeters that way. So it's a total of 7.5 millimeters across, or in other words, a 3.75 millimeter radius. And if we go to the back surface, we can see right now our OZ extends to a radius of about 4.5 before it really starts transitioning into that reverse curve. So 4.5, if our target is 3.75, we can probably decrease this OZ by about 0.75 millimeters or so. So what I'm going to do is, right now we're at 6.3. If I use 0.7 as the target, or 0.7 smaller as the target, we're going to drop this down to 5.6. So I'm going to go to 5.6. I'm going to leave the lift change as 0. I'm trying not to go up or down. I'm going to keep that at 0. 5.6. And then this one's going to be 6.2. Again, leaving the lift change at a net of 0. So what that does is it gives us a little bit more lens in the periphery for alignment. The alignment of the initial lens was already pretty good, but I don't think it would hurt to have more lens for alignment. Also, when you have a smaller OZ, there's less tissue that we're moving, and if our goal is to get a little bit more treatment, a smaller OZ will help us attain that without having to shift a lot of that epithelium. So just by shortening the OZ, we've already changed our power by about 1.5 to 1.6 diopters. And if we were about a diopter and a quarter undercorrected, our target would be around 2.43. So I can actually decrease our new demand, and we just want to go down to as close to 2.43 as possible. And that's pretty good there. Anytime I make power changes, I always go to 25% and then go through each individual meridian to make sure I'm as close to 2.43 or whatever the target is as I can be. And we're 0.1 off there. I can probably be a little bit closer, and that's better. That's pretty close already. That's close. Very good. So we're pretty close to about a diopter and a quarter more demand than our initial lens. The OZ is a little bit smaller. We didn't really make any changes to the periphery, so I expect this lens to align centrally just like the initial one does, and the patient should be getting better distance vision here. Hope this helps, and best of luck with this patient.